How's it going, everyone? It's Harvey from Weather Sponge 5000, and in this video, we're going to focus in on this significant Midwest snowstorm that's dumping feet of snow over a large portion of the Midwest, as well as bringing blizzard conditions, and we're going to determine how much snow you should expect in the Northeast as the slow pressure system continues to move further eastward, and we'll also determine what will happen by next week and even into the more long-term future as we approach late December for the United States when it comes to winter weather. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather content. So let's begin by taking a look at the current radar, forecasted radar from the GFS model, and we do see, of course, there's this significant Midwest snowstorm dumping a large area of snow over the northern Midwest, and we do see that as this slow pressure system continues to move further eastward, we're eventually going to see snow move into the Northeast. Now, over the past several days, there's been a little bit of uncertainty regarding where exactly the heaviest snow will fall in the Northeast, but now it's becoming a little bit more certain that most of the snow will remain right around the interior Northeast, but that still could impact a very large population of the interior Northeast, such as Albany, Scranton could get involved with close to a foot of snow. As for the Interstate 95 corridor, it seems like it'll mainly be a rain event. Maybe on the backside, Boston will receive some snowfall, but it'll be little to no snowfall, maybe a trace of snow. That's about it, as it seems like the jet stream dip will be significant enough to steer this storm far north quickly enough to really bring this southerly flow right along the coast, make the temperatures a little bit too warm for precipitation to fall in the form of snowfall, as the snowfall should remain right around the interior Northeast, but the snow could be heavy at times right around the interior Northeast, so you need to be aware of that possibility. And in terms of how long the snow should last for the northern Midwest, we do see that the northern Midwest is expected to stay under snowfall conditions over the next several hours, over the next 24 to 48 hours. Of course, snow will begin to wind down because this original low pressure system will begin to weaken, and then a new low pressure system will develop closer to the Great Lakes, and we could see heavy snowfall at times as we approach the Wednesday, the Thursday time frame right around the northern Great Lakes, such as Wisconsin and even the northeastern portion of Minnesota could experience very heavy snowfall from this newly formed low pressure system as a result of a high level of instability, and that could lead to potentially close to 2 feet of snow in the northern Midwest, which will be very significant. And eventually the storm will continue to move further eastward along with very cold temperatures on the backside of this low pressure system. Taking a look at the snowfall accumulation the GFS model is currently forecasting at this time, taking a look at the total snowfall, we do see that in terms of additional snowfall, we still you guys in right around northern Minnesota as well as the northern portion of Wisconsin should still expect potentially close to, if not over, a foot of snow before the storm is all said and done. So the snowstorm is pretty much just beginning for you guys, especially when this next low pressure system develops right around the Great Lakes. That's when you should experience the worst of the snowfall. And then moving further eastward, we do see that the heaviest snow, at least from what the GFS model is forecasting, is going to be a little bit further southward in the interior Northeast, impacting more of the Catskills and the Pocono Mountain region, where we do see that the area of 12 to 24 inches is right in between the southern portion of the upstate New York as well as the northern portion of Pennsylvania. And we do see the snow even move as far south as New Jersey, where the northwestern portion of New Jersey experiences 6 to 12 inches of snow from this the GFS model scenario. And we do even see that heavy snow move into Connecticut, where the the western portion of Connecticut experiences over 20 inches of snow. This is more so in the higher elevations. I honestly think that, at least for Hartford, Connecticut, the chance of accumulating snowfall is definitely less likely, especially when we take a look at the European model's scenario, where the European model is still leaning on bringing the heaviest snowfall further to the north of the major cities along the northeast coast, where we do see that Hartford, Boston, New York City, Philadelphia all miss out on the snow in this scenario. And we do see that even the northwestern portion of New Jersey doesn't experience as much snowfall as the GFS model, where we're seeing more around 3 to 6 inches of snow rather than the 6 to 12 the GFS model is forecasting, but we still do see over a foot of snow for a large portion of upstate New York, and we see the European model focus the heaviest snow a little bit further northward than the GFS model. We're gonna have to wait and see again which computer model will be the correct one. Like I've been saying over the past several videos, what will determine the location of the heaviest snow really all depends on how significant this jet stream dip will be as this low pressure system continues to head further eastward, because the more noticeable that jet stream dip is, the more likely we're going to see strong enough southerly winds to steer the storm quicker to the north, which would force the more extreme northern portions of the Northeast to experience the heaviest snowfall, while if the GFS model scenario was correct, where we see a less significant jet stream dip, then we would see the storm move northward a little bit slower, and the storm would end up a little bit weaker to a point where the more southern portions of the Northeast would experience more of the backside of the storm, since by the time the solar pressure system approaches the longitude of the Northeast, it's going to be a little bit further southward, since the storm isn't really accelerating to the north as fast as what the European model is stating. So we're definitely going to need to pay close attention to that to really determine who gets the heaviest snowfall. But it's pretty clear at this point that the Interstate 95 corridor will receive little to no snow at all, as it seems like the heaviest snow will be centered towards the interior Northeast. So definitely keep that in mind, especially if you're in the higher elevations where over a foot of snow is likely in those areas. So I'll keep you guys updated over the next several days regarding any shifts in the forecast when it comes to this significant snowstorm. And of course, the Midwest, you already are experiencing heavy snowfall, and the heaviest snowfall it still has yet to come from Minnesota, Wisconsin, as well as the northern portion of Michigan. So make sure to pay close attention to that. Now, take a look at the more long-term future to determine when the United States could experience its next major snowstorm. So if I were to continue to move forward with the European model, we do see that the European model is primarily quiet when it comes to winter weather, maybe until the Christmas time frame, where we do see a pretty significant low pressure system move into the Midwest, bringing a large area of snow over the Midwest. And we do see that the Northeast isn't necessarily involved in this scenario. We see that the southerly winds are just a little bit too strong, which is forcing a lot more warm air to the Northeast that would prevent any snowfall from occurring. But we still do see that the Midwest experiences very heavy snowfall from this next snowstorm, and we're going to need to keep pay close attention to that over the next several days. And taking a look at the more long-term forecast when it comes to a GFS model scenario, we do see that the GFS model is also very quiet when it comes to winter weather, but also agrees with the European model that snowstorm should develop closer to a Christmas time frame. So this could be a good opportunity for much of the United States to potentially experience a white Christmas as the snowstorm moves eastward, where we do see that the sort of the same scenario develops, where we see a very significant jet stream dip on the backside of this old pressure system, and we do see a significant snowstorm as a result impacting the Midwest and the Northeast. So that's definitely something we're going to need to pay close attention to over the next several days, but it's still very far out. So the forecast is far from certain, but I'll certainly keep you guys updated over the next several days. Now, taking a look at the current radar to really show you guys where exactly this current snowstorm is located. We do see that the heaviest snowfall is right around the Dakotas at this time. We do see that Rapid City is now just outside of a very heavy snow band, and we do see a heavy snow band right around the northwestern portion of Minnesota, just north of the Fargo area, and we do see a little bit of mixing going on just north of Minneapolis. But the snowfall for, like I said, for Wisconsin and the northern portion of Minnesota still has yet to come, as this next low pressure system is expected to develop within the next 24 hours right around the Ohio River Valley. So don't let your guard down just yet because you aren't experiencing heavy snowfall, because that certainly will change as the storm continues to head further eastward. Now, I'm going to show you guys how this low pressure system will develop. Let's take a look at the futurecast radar. We do see that this low pressure system will stay over the same area for quite a while, as the original low pressure system will sort of cut off from the jet stream, where the jet stream is going to be located well to the east, which will mean that this original low pressure system will weaken, and of course so will the snow bands, which will lead to weaker amount of snowfall as time goes on. But again, along this jet stream, we should see another low pressure system develop right around the late Wednesday to early Thursday time frame, where we begin to see very heavy snowfall right around Wisconsin, and that's when you should experience the worst of the snowfall. As snow could be heavy at times, we see the darker blues, which represents heavier snowfall. So that's going to be something we're going to need to pay close attention to in the northern Midwest. And taking a look at the East Coast, we should see the snow develop right around Pennsylvania by the Thursday afternoon time frame, when we could see some mixing in northern New Jersey before it maybe changes over to rain. But for the northwestern portion of New Jersey, there's certainly the possibility you will experience a prolonged period of heavy snowfall, to where you could experience up to 10 inches in localized areas, as I certainly won't be surprised if that does occur for the northwestern portion of New Jersey. But in terms of Interstate 95 corridor, you guys should miss out on the heaviest of snowfall. Now, taking a look at the North Atlantic Oscillation, we do see that we're pretty much near or at the peak when it comes to the negative North Atlantic Oscillation, and we do see the oscillation index is expected to rise over the next several days, more to a neutral phase by the time we approach early January time frame. But we do see that we're still expected to be in the negative phase by the time we approach Christmas, so there's still certainly that possibility of another major snowstorm developing during the December time frame. So make sure to pay close attention to that. Now, taking a look at my snowfall forecast when it comes to this major Midwest and Northeast blizzard, we do see that I'm expecting up to 12 to 24 inches right around the northeastern portion of Minnesota and northern portion of Wisconsin, as this should be a very significant snowstorm for you guys once this second low pressure system develops right around the Ohio River Valley. And I'm expecting 12 to 24 inches in the higher elevations, mainly right around the interior northeast, such as the Adirondacks, potentially the Catskills, as well as the White Mountain area. The White Mountains could experience over a foot of snow, and then a large area of 6 to 12 inches over the interior northeast, where we do see northern Pennsylvania, even the northwestern portion of New Jersey, upstate New York, and pretty much the entirety of Vermont, New Hampshire, as well as the majority of Maine should experience at least over 6 inches of snow. So let me keep that in mind. And then you see that just to the south of it, you will experience a little bit of mixing in the areas where you're expected to receive around 3 to 6 inches before eventually changing over to rain. But again, most of the heaviest snowfall likely will miss out on the Interstate 95 corridor, as no snowfall at all is expected for the major cities as of right now. And I expect it to stay that way, since it's pretty certain when we're only around 24 to 48 hours out from the event, the forecast does become pretty certain. So I don't expect any radical shifts in the forecast that would bring snow to the bigger cities along the northeast. But still pay close attention in the interior northeast when it comes to snowfall. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather content. I hope you guys have a great day.